Yeah, so we have our first tie over the neck of Dome. It's two notes tied together, so you're going to get it just a little bit more length than you would just one note. Yeah.
It really helps to just hold your paper up and watch your hand.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you get a director who's like kind of moving their hand around, and if you don't, it's okay. Just listen for the people next to you. Alright. What I've also heard people go to sing on this one, we've sung it here like this. We'll sing Et tu resurrectionem confitemur. But there's some breath in this. Is it there or is it?
Yeah.
It's right before the X.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I think we do et tu resurrectionem confitemur. I've heard people trying to throw in a breath after resurrectionem as well. Please don't do that. If you're gonna breathe in one place and stop. Alright, next. Okay, questions, comments, concerns?
Well, there's a quarter breath right after confident.
Yeah, confitemur. Yeah, there is a little bit of a breath, so go ahead and breathe there. Or take a slight pause.
So DONEC, pronounce that?
Dawn it.
It's off.
It's a little bit more like.
I always want to make it O on them, so.
Here's the other thing that I will say as well. As long as your O is not dough, like donut, and it's got the like diphthong in it, or it's dough, like going from an O to an U. If it's do, like pure O. I'm not gonna find you for that. You can sing it pure O as well. I'm not gonna find you for that. But other people might, so just be careful. Again, at the discretion of the director. So, okay, let's take a look at the Salve Regina, please. You've been seeing this at 11 a.m., so if you've been at 11 a.m., you probably know this one.
7542.
75? Excellent. Okay. So, a couple things with the Salve Regina. Anytime you get a G followed by an I, it's going to be the J. Regina. Okay? So then we get Mater Misericordiae. This AE is going to be just, this AE is just going to be N. Just pure N. Okay? Misericordiae. Vita Dulcedo.
Is it
Dulcedo.
so it's A, not A? Because I've heard it pronounced both ways.
As in like
Cordier.
Like AE, like A.
it's just N.
N.
Yeah. This one, yes. Although it looks like two vowels together. Yeah. This is one of those weird exceptions where it's not a diphthong, as in like you can say the A and the E. You just say E. You just say that. Okay. Yes, okay, so going through this, Vita Dulcedo, et spes nostra salve, ad te clamamus, exules, yeah, exules filii Eve, those vowels match, Eve, ad te suspiramus, Gementes, explentes. So those words look right. In Aklapi Mal Bad in the Valley of Tears. Ya. So this is where you get your first line. Where you say ya. Yeah. Now we're not trying to go ya, like very texting about it. But ya. Ergo, advocata nostra, y los tuos misericordes oculos, ad nos converte, et Jesu. So that's I, there. It's going to be a ya. So, I followed by E,
Yay.
and in particular, yeah, I wrote this wrong, but yes, it's yes. Yes, the I is gonna be very quick in this particular instance. We're not gonna go et, E is, does that make sense?
Okay.
The ed, it's more important, so it's gonna be similar to that glide.
Yeah.
I wrote this wrong, everything else here is correct. Yes. Yes.
So I remember learning all this in high school thinking, there's no natural speakers, there's no recordings, and most of the world was illiterate when it was spoken anyway. How do they know it was pronounced yay?
That's a great question.
I know it's the universal I was taught in high school. Everything you're saying I've heard before,
Yeah,
but I wasn't allowed to ask that question in high school.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give you an educated guess, and then you can go home and research and email me and tell me if I was right or wrong. Based on the way that Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish sounds now, with like a lot of J's that become like yeah, or anything else like that, I would guess that's how they came up with that. It also might be like, there might be some documentation of like, this is how we said it, or something like that. I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So I don't know if this exists for Latin, but I can tell you that in Spanish, there is the Real Académica, which decides on vocabulary and pronunciation for the Spanish language. And it's just like, it doesn't matter what happened before, this is what happens now, and forever after. So I suspect something like that might happen to Latin. That's my point.
Probably, I know the French have a very rigid
Yes.
version of that. Yeah. Yeah. So there might also be that as well. I don't know. Who researched it? I would be interested to know as well.
Well, everyone says the same thing, like this is how it's said, and I'm like,
Documented for a while.
Well, that's the other thing too, where I could get into, the reason that I distinguish liturgical Latin specifically is because, like, Denise knows this as well, but there is like Germanic Latin, as in like there are Germanic pronunciations of Latin that were widely spoken, but the church prefers the like Latin that sounds Italian kind of pronunciation of Latin. So, yeah, there are pronunciations. Yes, okay. Sorry, okay, for the sake of time, I'm going through really fast. Okay, so benedictum is where I think I would put. Fructum ventris tui, nobis, post o. So that is another place where you can cross out that H, post o. Exilium, ostende, clemens, o. Again, because we have those squiggly notes, we're going to extend that first note of o just a little bit. In both cases where we have o, clemens, o, yeah. And then as you can tell on the next o, yeah. Ultis. Yep. Jesu Maria. Yep. Let's sing it, shall we? Again, if you don't know this one, it's okay. Just jump in where you can. I'm gonna start. You guys come in at Mate.
Okay.
So we're gonna sing Salve Regina, Just like that, yep. And then if you were singing it more times, I would be like, make sure your vowels sound more like that. Make sure like all these things, like all of those accent marks that you got, like take all of those things. Yep, exactly. Other things too, I would be like, okay, the other thing about Latin and the way that chant is written, even though you have commas, so for example, at the very, very bottom of the page on the natural tendency is to breathe at commas, but the way it's written, you just blow right past it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay, I think that's all that I have. So questions, comments, concerns? Yes. Yes.
If anybody needs help with Latin, let me know. My dad is English and Latin.
Yeah, that's first, if you look at the back, there are some additional resources for you to check out if you're into it. And if you are a serious musician who really wants to learn more, just get a packet as well. There's a very limited number of these. If you go back to the beginning of the presentation, I don't know how to get back to the very beginning ones, but if you scan the QR code, again, you have access to all of these documents too. So if you want the intermediate news packets, there are 10 copies of this. And I will make this here. Anything else that you need is here. So thank you, ladies.